Okay, so this is part two, so please go back and watch part one. It'll make more sense. Or also, I do have this blog now. Um, I just started it a few days ago, the mindlessfreaks.blogspot.com. You can come and read mostly everything that I've talked about. I might mention a few things that I didn't put on here, but. So anyway, in Happy Gilmore here, right before Chubbs dies, Chubbs takes Happy to learn how to putt, because that's his biggest problem in the game, and he has to beat Shooter McGavin and blah, blah, blah. But when Happy finally learns how to putt at this putt-putt golf course, it just so happens to be on the Earthquake putt-putt golf thing. I mean, the Earthquake one. What? It's very interesting. Also, you can't really see it on here. Maybe you can zoom in. I don't know if I can click on it and zoom in. Doesn't look like it. Oh, yeah, you can. Here. 107 into the movie. I mean, interesting. The word earthquake adds up to 107. This movie's also 1 minute 31, or 1 hour 31 minutes and 55 seconds long, so it's 1 hour 31 minutes. It's just short of 101 hour 32. The word 131 even adds up to 107. What really stuck out to me, though, was look at this building here. I mean, the building that falls over, it's the skyscraper or whatever with the cube on the top. It has this little antenna which throws me off a little bit. But that reminds me a lot of the Comcast Center that I've mentioned previously in videos in Philadelphia. And I've talked about in the earthquake with the Benjamin Franklin Bridge and also this Comcast Center. So anyway, I looked at the skylines because I've talked about San Francisco. I've talked about Chicago a lot. So I looked at the skylines of the other places. And I mean, this is San Francisco here. I don't see any black cube at the top. I don't see any cube whatsoever on top of one of these buildings. This is Chicago. We'll zoom in on this one. I don't see any cubes on the top of any of these buildings. None whatsoever. But the Comcast Center in Philadelphia, it sure looks a lot like that. Let's go back up here and look at it. I mean, it's got the cube on the top. I mean, interesting. You know, another thing I wanted to point out, the Super Bowl's in San Francisco this year. In Adam Sandler's new movie, Pixels, on the cover of it, they have Pac-Man eating the Golden Gate Bridge. Yet, they never once in that movie go to San Francisco. It has nothing to do with San Francisco. So why would they have Pac-Man be eating the Golden Gate Bridge? It doesn't make any sense. There's also black cubes in that movie. The first game that they have to play or whatever, it's with the black cube. So very interesting. That all ties into the New Jerusalem and the number 144. Super Bowl 50 adds up to 71. Interesting, if you write out the word 71, it adds up to 144. It even ties into Moses. Moses equals 71. There was 144,000 chosen people in the Bible. The 12 times 12,000 of 12,000 times 12,000 of the tribes of Israel. But anyway, let's keep scrolling down here. There's some interesting things about the Comcast Center that I never pointed out before, I don't think. Philadelphia sports were under the curse of Billy Penn until the Comcast Center was built. The curse started because buildings in Philadelphia were being built taller than the statue of William Penn. And the Comcast Center had a statue of William Penn sitting on its final beam. And then somebody stole it. And then when they brought it back, the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series and ended the curse. But just interesting, it says the Comcast Center is a 58-story, 975 feet glass skyscraper, even located on John F. Kennedy Boulevard. I mean, interesting, dealing with Obama and Abraham Lincoln and assassinated presidents. JFK is even 44 years older than Obama, the 44th president. And, I mean, everybody's looked at I'm sure they have anyway, the mirrors of JFK's death to Abraham Lincoln. They're doing a whole lot of that with Obama as well. But anyway, this building at 975 feet, the curse was started because of the William Penn statue that's only 548 feet. So the Comcast Center was built 427 feet taller than this statue. And then the Comcast Center opened 6/6 of 2008. But something that stuck out to me was I had a video, probably a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, about the possible beginning of World War III being on August 12th of 2016. There was a lot of interesting things dealing with the number 71 on that date. Other people have talked about November 26th. That date also is surrounded, it even connects to this date. So just throwing it out there, it doesn't have to mean anything. But some of the things that I talked about in this video were that William Penn adds up to 128, and Pennsylvania was also founded on 12/12/1787. If you add up the date, it's 128 as well. And August 12th can be written as 8/12 or even 12/8, so similar to 128. And I have a typo down here, but the Comcast Center then is 427 feet taller than the William Penn statue that caused the curse. But if you go from the date the Comcast Center opened to 8/12 of 2016, it's a span of 427 weeks, just like it's 427 feet taller than this William Penn statue. I don't know why I wrote 147 in there, but I'll even show you really quick up here. Put the data in the calculator. 6/6/2008 to 8/12, span of 427 weeks. And this building's 427 feet taller than this building that caused the curse. Anyway, the Comcast Center is also 58 stories tall, which seriously stuck out to me because the last three biggest East Coast earthquakes were all surrounded by the number 58 and 85. Also, just earthquakes in general have a lot of 58 and 85 around them. I'll just show you a few here. I mean, Richter scale in gematria equals 58. The guy who invented it died at age 85 in the year 1985. Seismograph equals 58. The study of seismology goes back to 585 BCE. The big one, 85. I mean, lots of Back to the Future references as well. Back to the Future 2. Biff wins all of his money on the 85th day in the year 1958. His name in gematria adds up to 85. Even the guy who plays Biff Tannen, his name adds up to 85, and he's from Philadelphia. There's even a part in the movie where Doc asks himself for a wrench, and then he says, "Don't you mean the 5/8 wrench?" And there's some other ones in there as well, but right towards the end here, Shooter McGavin thinks that he's going to win the gold jacket or whatever, and he tells her that his Virginia Venet, that his jacket size is 44 long. Interesting, because earthquake adds up to 44 the small way and also 107 the big way. But what I found interesting is he says Virginia. He tells Virginia. And the last biggest earthquake that was felt in Philadelphia was in 2011. It was the 2011 Virginia earthquake. It was also a 5.8, and it happened at 151, which just stood out. There's a lot of 151 coding. Jesus Christ equals 151. Back to the Future talked about the end of the world being on Valentine's Day of 2016. Valentine's Day, 151. Abraham Lincoln this year will even be the 151st anniversary of his death. Also, that movie Creed came out 51 days before the death of Dan Haggerty, the guy who played Grizzly Adams. So the mirror's 15 to 51. The next worst East Coast earthquake was the Cornwall Messina earthquake in 1944. Go figure, 44. It was even on 44 degrees north, I believe. And it was also a 5.8. And then the worst ever recorded East Coast earthquake was the 1886 Charleston earthquake, and it happened exactly 58 years and 5 days before this earthquake in 1944. I mean, what are the odds of that? That's pretty strange. It also stuck out to me a lot because a lot of these earthquakes, they happened in August. Only one of them happened on September 5th. I believe it was September 5th. But a lot of the Batman earthquake stuff that I just talked about in a previous post, a lot of it was in August. as well. There was the Batman, or the theater shooting. James Holmes, the Batman shooter, was sentenced in August. Donald Trump said he was Batman in August. Batgirl died in August. I mean, the guy who dressed up like Batman and went to hospitals, he died in August. Morgan Freeman's daughter or granddaughter died in August. I mean, and Morgan Freeman, they had a picture with him at the Batman premiere. So, I mean, interesting. A lot of it had to do with the month of August. So I just threw this little picture in here too. Happy Gilmore won the gold jacket at the end of the game. You know, also interesting, the guy who, Happy Gilmore's old boss with a nail in his head, he's wearing the shirt that says, "Guns don't kill people, I kill people." That's also been a pretty big topic all throughout the year about Obama's trying to take your guns and whatnot. I mean, just interesting. I should have took a picture of that and put that on here as well. Just seems really fitting to a lot of recent news. But I put this on here only because it's the gold jacket. We got the 49ers and the Gold Rush. Grizzly Adams, the original Grizzly Adams, the real guy, was even he was met by this guy in San Francisco. And this guy pretty much made him famous or whatever. Interesting, they met in the year 1856. And Dan Haggerty's name adds up to 56, and he just died, known for portraying Grizzly Adams. The last few things in Happy Gilmore here, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. All this coding really goes back to Abraham Lincoln and the Civil War theme they've been running. But the very last scene, Happy looks up in the sky or whatever, and he waves at Chubbs the alligator and Abraham Lincoln in heaven or whatever. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. There's no other references to Abraham Lincoln in the movie. There's one reference where Adam Sandler says, "What, because you're black?" or whatever, you know, but other than that, there's nothing. I mean, I don't understand why Abraham Lincoln is up here in heaven waving with Chubbs. It really just doesn't make any sense. It's kind of strange to me. Maybe there's another reason. Maybe I'm not getting it. But just strange, you know, there's been a lot of Abraham Lincoln coding, and now this movie pops up to me because of Grizzly Adams. But Chubbs in the movie, his name's Chubbs Peterson, it adds up to 59. Black people coded with this number. I mean, even Tiger Woods, right? Tiger equals 59. Speaking, I mean, only because of golf, that's why I'm bringing it up. But nigger, it's coded 5 plus 9 plus 7 plus 7. Whatever, it has the two 59s in it. Also adds up to 42. February, the only month that adds to 42, ends on the 59th day. Negro 59, slave 59. It's why we work the 9 to 5. I'm also at work re-listening to 1984, the book, and, you know, it's all about Big Brother that's keeping them in the slaves or whatever. Big Brother equals 59. Also, the last thing I want to talk about here is that I noticed a long time ago when I was in high school, Adam Sandler's, a lot of his famous movies have a girl with a double V name in them. Billy Madison, it's Veronica Vaughn. Happy Gilmore, Virginia Vinet. Waterboy, Vicky Valancourt. Little Nicky, Valerie Varan. Even in Big Daddy, the Hooters girl in the beginning is Vanessa. So, I mean, I don't know what the significance is of that. But, you know, all I can think of maybe is V is the 22nd letter. So 2 V's would be 22, and 22 is 44, just like earthquake. Also, in Pythagorean gematria, V equals 4, so you put them together, VV would be 44. I mean, it also could be 8. You know, what's messed up is I don't even know how. I don't remember, like, why I thought of this or how I noticed it. People even told me that I was a weirdo for noticing this way back in, who knows when, 2000, 2001. And it's just really funny to me because I haven't been awake that long, but there's a lot of, like, I used to question everything. And it's just funny to me because that's probably how I got to where I am today, you know? And I wish more people would start questioning things. I mean, that's some pretty strange stuff. But I guess most people just don't care, and it sucks. And I'm not even trying to rant, you know? It's just I personally know nobody who is actually quote-unquote awake. And it just drives me crazy. I'm thinking about making some videos that explain a little bit more about my life and how I got to where I was. Just because I know that some of the people that I've been talking to have been watching my videos and they don't understand it. and I want him to get a better understanding. So, who knows? Have a good night.